London is a city of grandeur, history, and mystery. But beneath its bustling streets and towering skyscrapers lies something far older, something forgotten, something buried under the depths of the River Thames. For centuries, whispers of a lost ship, a hidden curse, and a secret erased from history have circulated among historians and conspiracy theorists. But no proof ever surfaced, until now. What if draining the Thames revealed not just artifacts, but something far darker, something waiting to be found? This is the story of the drowned curse of the Thames. It started with a government-funded project aimed at cleaning the polluted depths of the River Thames. Marine archaeologists and engineers were using sonar technology to map the riverbed when they discovered something shocking: a shipwreck in a place where no ship should be. The wreck was enormous, buried under layers of silt and debris. At first, it was believed to be an old trade vessel from the 1600s, but something about its structure was wrong. The ship was larger than any recorded vessel from that period and seemed almost untouched by time, as if it had been preserved by something unnatural. Dr. Emily Carter, a renowned maritime historian, was called to examine the wreck. As she and her team drained portions of the river using digital imaging, the outline of the ship became clearer. The wood was blackened, not by water damage, but by something else, something ancient. But it wasn't just the ship that baffled the experts. There was something inside the wreck. Divers were sent down to investigate, but within minutes of entering the ship, radio contact was lost. Then, sudden screaming. A single, blood-curdling scream. One diver, Jack Henshaw, was pulled to the surface. His body convulsed, his eyes wide with terror. He gasped for air, muttering the same chilling phrase over and over again. "It's awake. It's awake." It was never meant to be found. The other two divers? Gone. Their bodies were never recovered. Despite this horrific event, Dr. Carter insisted on continuing the investigation. The team brought up a large, iron-bound chest from the wreck. The metal was covered in strange, shifting symbols that didn't belong to any known language. That night, the facility where the chest was being kept suffered a catastrophic failure. Security footage showed the chest opening on its own. And then, darkness. When the lights flickered back on, the facility was empty. The entire team gone. But that wasn't the worst part. Every object inside the lab was now covered in those same shifting symbols. And the chest? The chest was empty. Terrified, Dr. Carter turned to historical records, desperate for answers. Deep in the archives of the British Museum, she found a forbidden manuscript, a document that had been sealed away for centuries. It spoke of the Black Harbinger, a ship that was never meant to reach land. In 1666, the ship was carrying something stolen from a remote, uncharted island. Some believed it was an artifact of unknown power. Others claimed it was not an object, but a prisoner. That same year, before the ship could dock in London, the Great Fire of London broke out. The records suggested that the fire wasn't an accident. It was a desperate attempt to destroy the ship and whatever it carried. London was set ablaze to protect the world from what lay inside the Black Harbinger. But now, centuries later, the ship had been found, and the thing inside it was awake. As Dr. Carter continued her research, she began noticing strange occurrences. Objects in her office moved on their own. Her reflection in mirrors lingered a second too long. And then, one night, she heard it. A whisper. It spoke in a language she didn't understand, but somehow, she knew what it meant. "You should have left it buried." She ran to her desk, pulling out the manuscript, trying to find a way to stop whatever she had unleashed. But before she could, she saw something in the reflection of her computer screen, a shadow standing behind her. The screen flickered, then static. The next morning, Dr. Carter was gone. Security footage showed her walking into her office. She never came out. After Dr. Carter's disappearance, the government shut down the excavation. Every file was sealed, and every person involved in the project vanished. Official reports claimed it was a failed archaeological study, but those who were there knew better. The Black Harbinger had been lost for centuries. It should have stayed that way, because some things aren't meant to be found, and some curses never drown. Was Dr. Emily Carter really the last victim of the Black Harbinger? Or is the curse still waiting beneath the Thames for the next person who dares to uncover its secrets? London's past is filled with mysteries, but some histories should remain hidden.